if there's a moment when I went, Christ, I love Shakespeare, and I don't know what age I was, but I was young, it was when I first read the Tomorrow, Tomorrow and Tomorrow soliloquy from Macbeth. And I know straight away you're going, you fucking geek, Paul, whatever you want to call it. I don't give a shit. I just love it. And it happens in this scene. This is Act 5, Scene 5 of Macbeth. Certainly, along with Act 5, Scene 1, the most important scene in the act. And it takes place at Dunsinane as Macbeth is isolated in the castle. And he's still kind of clinging to the witches' prophecies. And we know the witches are wicked and evil, and everybody else, I mean, Banquo spotted it straight away when he met them. Macbeth's reliance on the witches is pathetic and just underlines how unheroic he is at this stage of the play. And there's a sense that he's become kind of nihilistic. See that word nihilism? It means that nothing really matters. There's a great song by Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. That sense that, like, you know, nothing is of any value to him at all. And that sense is triggered by this scream that he hears. And when he hears the scream, it's a cry of a woman. He makes this comment, like, there was a time when that would have really, you know, bothered me to hear that scream, but now it's just another scream. He has been the cause of so much pain that he's become inured to. Like, you know, he's not affected by suffering anymore. That's, you know, he's a monster now. And then, of course, the news comes in that Lady Macbeth is dead, and, you know, she's committed suicide. You'll get some teachers saying, well, you can't say for sure that she did. You can say that. You know, especially the fact that at the end of the play, Malcolm reports that that's what his information is, that she took her own life. But regardless of it, she's dead. So if your teacher wants to be pedantic and says it's not suicide, we can't prove it's suicide, we'll take that on board. She's dead. And what's interesting is his reaction to the death of his dearest partner in greatness is unemotional. And it sums Macbeth up. When she dies, the news of her death triggers not a reflection on her and his love for her and all that they had and all that they've lost. In fact, her death is not mentioned in the soliloquy that follows. It's all about him. And this is why I think this could be the greatest speech that Shakespeare ever wrote. Here's why, right? Now, not that you care. Here's why. Because on the one hand, what he says in the speech is so ugly and unattractive and self-pitying and, you know, the words of a man who made terrible mistakes and is feeling sorry for himself. But on the other hand, the words that he uses, the language that Shakespeare employs, are just magnificent. The imagery, the poetry, the metre, the beats. Has he ever written anything better? I don't think so. And there again, we have that wonderful dichotomy, that wonderful paradox, that wonderful conflict in the way we view Macbeth. At the same time as we are horrified by him, we also admire qualities in him, not the least of which is the poetry of his expression in this speech. The reaction to his wife's, to the scream is where, you know, you clearly see he's become kind of inured to violence. He says, I have almost forgot the taste of fears. The time has been my senses would have cooled to hear a night shriek. I have supped full of horrors. It's really interesting, isn't it? When he hears the scream, he's like, what was that? But like, he's not bothered. It doesn't put the hair standing up in the back of his neck. He says, there was a time when I heard a scream like that at night time. It would have freaked me out, but not anymore, because I'm full up. I've seen and I've committed and I've experienced any horror that the world has to offer, so nothing can shock me anymore. And then you have this. Can I read it? Do you hate me? I don't mind. First of all, his reaction to his wife's death is a shrug of the shoulders. she should have died hereafter means she was going to die at some stage. Now that alone is even though Lady Macbeth is a villain, yes, she loved him and she devoted her life to him. And for him to react that way to her death is, well, it's tragic for her. It's somewhat ironic, I suppose, given her story. But it's also indicative of, just what a self-centered, narcissistic human being Macbeth has become at the end of the play. But as soon as I say those words, tomorrow, tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to dusty death. Out, out, brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. It's amazing. And it gets me every time. What do we focus in? That image there. There's your candle. That's how fragile the light is. It's easily extinguished. That's life. Life is fragile. Life is not permanent. Life is by its very essence easily extinguished. Macbeth has come to the conclusion that really all life is just a transition between not existing and then not existing again. Life's but a walking shadow. We're all ghosts. We're all like actors, players upon a stage. We come on, we do our parts. And it's full of sound and fury, and we think what we do is important. But ultimately, the actor walks off the stage, the audience leaves the theatre, and it's very soon forgotten. It's meaningless, he says. He says, we're all idiots if we think that our life signifies anything. We're all idiots if we think life has any meaning. How wrong can you be? He's right about the brevity of life. He's right about the fact that it is a brief candle. But he's wrong about it signifying nothing. Life has meaning. But Macbeth has thrown it all away. His desire for power, his ego, his ambition has driven him to a point where all of the things that are valuable in life he no longer has. He listed them in the previous scene, in Act 5, Scene 3. Troops of friends, honour. There are things that matter. The love of your wife, the love of your husband, the family. But Macbeth has lost all of those things. And he's lost all of those things not because of Lady Macbeth and not because of the witches. He's lost all of those things because of himself. And now he's feeling sorry for himself. It's a brilliant, brilliant moment. The imagery of the candle, the player on the stage, the tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury. The imagery is incredible. The language is beautiful. But the meaning of the words are indicative of the rotten core that lies at the heart of Macbeth's character at the end of the play.